Hey colleagues, how are you today? This is John Herrera, President of Munitemps and Municipal Staffing Solutions with the City Speak blog podcast article for today. The title is Think Outside the Box. Don't go with this is the way we've always done it here before. And this whole topic of thinking outside the box, not following the way it's always been done before. Today I'm going to talk about it with regard to the budget. The budget is the most important fiscal policy document that local governments adopt every year. Whether you're a city government, a special district, a county government, joint powers authority, and a number of other organizations in local government, nonprofits, and even in corporate America and business, the budget is a very important financial planning document. By the way, in today's presentation for City Speak, I think I've mentioned before that I do a 10-minute presentation for LinkedIn because I'm limited to only 10 minutes. So the first part of this presentation is only 10 minutes long, so hang in there with me. But for those of you that want to see the full presentation on my YouTube article, in YouTube, you go under Munitemps, City Speak, and you'll find the entire article. Okay, so let's go forward here. The budget, this is a very important financial planning document that is an opportunity not just to present the stakeholders and the community what services are being provided and what the cost of those services are. It's also an opportunity for your organization to market the accomplishments, the strengths of the organization, and what are some of the challenges that you're dealing with. Maybe the fiscal threats that your organization is facing. Certainly with a looming economic recession, that's something that we're all facing. But the budget is a lot more than just an accounting document. You know, I speak to governing bodies all the time, city council, board of directors, and they have a high expectation that the budget that you present is going to help them to accomplish their responsibility as fiscal stewards for their organization. So there's a couple of points I want to highlight for you. Okay, there is a better budget model, a better budget document that you can prepare for your organization that goes beyond the basic line item budget, the way we've always done it. You know, if we had budgeted $1 million for this program, well, we assume that we need the $1 million and just add 7% for inflation, for CPI. That is not a very good budget document. It never leads to good decisions. There's other better budgeting models like program budgets, performance budgets. And sometimes you have to do a zero-based budget approach to ensure that you're allocating resources to the highest and best use within your community. But you know, we've talked in the past about what the product is that our organizations provide. Did you go through that exercise? It's been a few weeks since we've talked about having a meeting as a management team. Do a management retreat. I have the privilege of getting away with Dennis and Alexis, two colleagues that I'm working with, and other department directors. We're going to be getting away this weekend to do a management retreat and talk about the budget. Talk about these best practices. How we can improve the services that we deliver to our customers. And really, it's a product. We've talked about when I work with city governments, the product is improving the quality of life for the community. And there's a number of different tools that we use: a vision statement, a mission statement, a value statement, policies, procedures, and so on. But we're going to be doing a retreat to have a serious consideration of how we can improve the budgeting process that we go through. Here we are in January, and in the next 6 months, less than 6 months, our local government, our city government is going to adopt a budget. It's not only a spending plan, like I said, it's a financial planning document. It's also a marketing document. It's an opportunity to market what you're doing and letting your stakeholders and the community know. But the product that you're delivering, identifying who your customer is by department. Who is your customer? Who are you working with? So now, hopefully you've done that exercise, or you will be doing that exercise. You know who your customer is, and you know your customer deserves the best product that you can deliver. You know, a lot of times in local government, especially among other organizations, we are afraid to obligate ourselves to a certain level of service or a certain product. We're afraid to make promises. And I'm here to tell you, after working in local government for 32 years, don't be afraid, man. Life is not worth it if we're not taking some risks to add a little more adventure and excitement to the job that we do, which ultimately results in a better product for our customers, whoever those are. So I've always said, we need to make promises to our community, to our stakeholders, promises that no other local government would dare to make. Yeah, really, I mean, obligate yourself. Oh, I'm afraid, you might say, I'm afraid I might get fired if we don't meet these high expectations. Well, why would you fail them? Why would you not achieve them? It's not like you're gonna all be stressed out. And if you are stressed out, it's kind of good stress that you have. Like when you're climbing a mountain and there's a risk that you can slip and fall and really seriously hurt yourself or kill yourself. Do you say you're not going to do that? You say, well, that's just for thrill seekers. Yeah, you're right. It is for thrill seekers. I'm a thrill seeker. And I only go to work for organizations where they value thrill seekers. It's not a reckless thrill seeker. It's with a purpose. It's with a mission to help the governing body, the leaders of the organization, to accomplish the vision they have for their community and for their organizations. So I challenge you, colleagues, to obligate yourselves to success, to achieve this level of success. And right now we're talking about the budget. There's so many different topics we can talk about. Changing the mantra. That's the way we've always done it here. Or we are afraid to bring new things forward because if you present the city council or the board of directors a new way of doing things, they'll freak out. They won't understand it. They like everything to stay the same. That's not true. If we do a good job as the leaders that we are, as managers, as financial planners, as budget preparers, and guide them so that they can learn, they help them through this change management. And that's what I'm doing this weekend with my management team. We're going to get away. We're going to talk about how to accomplish change. When it comes to the budget, obviously we have OpenGov and we have better budget planning documents, but those don't speak for themselves. You need to make sure that you put good information in so good information comes out. Remember GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And then you have to have the conviction and believe in what you're selling. So again, being a thrill seeker, yeah, I'm a professional thrill seeker, not reckless. But I will tell you, unfortunately, most of the colleagues that I've worked at most organizations, everybody just likes it nice and peaceful. We just like to be on the boat here, and I want to just do the best work I can, but no rocking the boat too much. We like it nice and easy. I just want to be in here for 5 or 10 more years, and then I want to retire and sail off into the sunset. That's not true. That doesn't happen. For those of you that are retirees out there, you can attest to what I'm saying. If your organization is a dinosaur, that's the way we've always done it here. Leave it. Leave that organization. Go with an innovator organization. So, who's ready for an adventure? Come up with a new budget plan. Do a management retreat if you haven't already done it, and bring forward a budget document that's not just a good spending plan, but it's a fiscal planning document, and it's a way to market your organization and the services that you're providing. Okay, all for now. John Herrera with Muni Temps and the City Speak blog and podcast. This is the end of the 10-minute presentation for LinkedIn and anybody who wants just a 10-minute presentation. I'm now going to go on for those who want to hear the longer term or the longer version. Okay, thanks for those of you who stuck with me here beyond the 10-minute presentation. Let me go into a couple more details. The budget for your city, for your special district, for your local government organization. It's the most important policy document, fiscal policy planning document that we prepare. And I'll tell you what, in the past, I worked with some really lazy people who don't want to do a lot of work when it comes to the budget. They say, well, if my department got $2 million or $5 million or $10 million, whatever it was, if my department got $5 million last fiscal year, I at least want to keep that $5 million. And so I really if there's a 7% inflation adjustment to my $5 million budget, so 7% times 5 million is, I believe, $350,000. Sorry, $350,000. So all I really need to present for and justify for my department is the $350,000 increase in my budget. No. Remember, we are not doing it the way we've always done it here. We're going to think outside the box. We're going to do a zero-based budget. If there was a time that we should be doing a zero-based budget, it's in this year, in the year 2023. There's a lot of stormy clouds out there in the horizons, colleagues. And I'm telling you, this is a good time to do a zero-based budget. It takes a little backbone and a little bit of hard work. But colleagues, you got to build a budget that takes a look at, first of all, don't look at how much money do we have. You need to look at your operation, just like a business, okay? Who's your customer? Identify your customer in the budget. What's the product that you're delivering? Identify that. Now let's go down to a third level. How many units of that product are you going to deliver? From the standpoint of my department is usually the finance department or the administrative services department. We deliver services to mostly internal customers, other departments. We do accounting, financial accounting, we do financial reporting, we do auditing, we do internal and external auditing. We also have some external customers with regard to the utility billing, water, wastewater, solid waste, and other services. And the residents of the city and the businesses and so forth, they come in and they pay their bills. So we're providing customer service there as well. We try to make the customer service as high level as possible for the external customers. We provide online the ability of people to pay through the PayPal and other means so they can use their credit card, and they don't have to come into City Hall if they don't want to. They can pay their bill anytime. Internally, we try to provide our accounting software. As I've said before, no matter what the accounting software is, we want to give access to all the departments. They don't need to call us and say, John, how much money do I have in my office supplies account at the end of December of 2022? They can just go in there and inquiry and get the information themselves. So we're always looking to use technology to improve the service we provide to our departments, who are internal customers, as well as our residents and businesses who are external customers. But the budget is an opportunity where I know it takes several hundred hours of staff time, but that's the most important work that you do during January to June, and you can allocate it out. So the sooner you get started working on your budget for fiscal year 2024 that begins on July 1st of 2023, you've got 6 months. Okay, that's 180 days. That's 26 weeks. Okay, so if you allocate 10 hours a week, a couple people, you can get it all done. It doesn't take that much time. Just don't procrastinate and leave it for May or June or the 11th hour to make changes. But going back to what goes in the budget, I'm not going to describe the budget in detail. That's a topic for a separate podcast. What I'm talking about right now is that the budget document that you have, sometimes it's time to scrap it and get rid of it. It's nothing more than an accounting report that, instead of providing historical information, it also provides prospective future forecasts of costs. But as you go and you identify who's my customer, what is the product that I'm delivering, what are the deliverables, what are the service levels that we're providing, how can we improve on that, that needs to be put into the budget document, and it's in the very beginning there. You identify your team, who you have, and as I said before, don't go through a budget process where you first find out how much money you have, and then you talk about what you can accomplish. No. Turn it backwards. The best practices that I learned in graduate school when we were talking about budget, and I agree with it, don't let the budget drive the policy. Have the policy drive the budget. First, focus on what we're trying to accomplish in serving our customers. First, look at what is it that the best practices are, what level of service we need to provide to our customers. Then, after you accomplish that, then you look at how you fund that. Obviously, the city council is going to accept the recommendation of the city manager or the chief executive, whoever that is, the general manager, right? But I want to highlight for you that, well, first of all, as a side note, I, as a finance director, these are not my goals, right? These are not my priorities. They are the priorities of the city council. And then they direct the city manager to tell them what they want to be in that budget document. So it becomes the city manager's budget. And so we are going to be working with the city manager so that he can then look at the funding sources that we have. Going back to that whole concept of don't let the budget drive the policy. In other words, the policy is what services are we going to deliver. Don't let the money determine what projects we provide, what services, what products we deliver to our customers. Just like in corporate finance, I mean, that was ingrained to us in graduate school. You separate out the investment decisions from the financing decisions. Those are two separate analyses that we have to achieve. As a finance director, I always think of myself as a chief financial officer, and I'll tell you right now, it is our job to go and find the money to fund the objectives, the initiatives, the projects that the city council, under the direction, working together with the city manager and the chief executive, what they're trying to accomplish. That's our job, is to find the money. Now, most of you city finance directors and municipal finance officers out there are going to say, how do I find money? Where do I find money? That's your job. In corporate finance, it's your job to go and obtain the financing for projects. You take a look at the fiscal capacity of your community and your organization. I mean, most of you don't realize it. There are some small, tiny little city governments. As a matter of fact, over 90% of city governments are under 15,000 population, tiny little cities. And yet, they are $100 million or more organizations. Go and look at the government-wide financial statement in the annual audit, and you'll see. Go look at the total assets of the organization. That's how I measure the size and the fiscal capacity of the organization. They're $100 million organizations. Some are $500 million organizations, and they're relatively small because and I know you can't spend infrastructure, right? But you all know that we can get very creative in achieving financing for projects that are high priorities of the community, of the organization. So finance officers, city finance directors, you need to think of yourself as a CFO, a chief financial officer, and you have to broaden your scope and get creative in finding the money. The money's out there. Sometimes we have to compete for that money. Sometimes we have to get involved in economic development. We usually think that it's only the community development director that does economic development, or maybe it's the economic development director who does economic development. But those guys and gals, they don't always have the accounting information, knowledge of the financial accounting, the financial statements. They don't understand the cash flows as much as you do as a finance director. So partner with the director of community development, partner with the assistant city manager, the director of economic development, partner with all the department heads. You guys get together, synergy comes out of that, and there's opportunities for financing the initiatives of the city council and the city manager. So if I said enough on that, I think that's enough for now, but we'll have a different discussion at another time, some of the creative options for financing the initiatives in the budget for your local government or even for your business organization. Let's go back to talking about the product. What product? Who's your customer? Identify your customer. We've talked about that in prior City Speak podcasts through Muni Temps. You have to identify your customer. You have to fall in love with your customer and making your customer happy. Right now I'm looking here at the utility billing customer service line, and people come in there, and we have these beautiful ladies, and this one gentleman, he's got a nice beard, helping the customers and the businesses that come in. And we love our customer. Without that customer, we don't have a job. The other customers that I have is the director of Public Works, the police chief, the fire chief, the community development director, the library director, parks and recreation director, and so on, the city manager's office. These are all our customers. All the employees, hundreds of employees that we serve, these are all our customers. And we have to continue to look as CFO-minded city finance directors and other municipal finance officers. You need to broaden your horizons. You might have to go back to college, by the way. Go back to school and take some classes if you don't have enough education. You can do night school nowadays. You can do on your laptop or whatever. But there's so many opportunities to get education. Go get involved with CSMFO, GFOA, and the many other municipal finance and accounting organizations throughout the United States. Frankly, it's throughout the world now. Because now with Zoom, you can do everything digitally and televise workshops and so forth. Education has never been cheaper and more readily available as it is today. So I guess I need to then say this. You need to get excited and look at the fact that being a finance director is not just a boring accounting job or finance job. No way. It's an adventure. At least I make an adventure out of it. You know, Navy has that slogan, it's not just a job, it's an adventure. And I tell you, the same thing with finance directors. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. But you gotta know what your options are. It takes education, it takes training. You're never gonna get that training unless you expose yourself to the opportunities out there. You gotta be willing to go back to school and be trained. You gotta take risks, calculated risks, so that you can have a return on that investment, so you can provide better opportunities for your organizations, more resources. And really, when it comes to the city budget, the local government budget, it is a marketing document. Why? Because we're competing. You don't think that if you're a city government or local government, you don't think you're competing? You better believe you're competing. You're competing with all those neighboring cities. Remember back in the 1990s when we were competing for Walmart to come into our community so we can get the sales tax? Remember those days? Well, we're not just competing for sales tax and for all these different retailers to come into our community. We're competing for resources, human resources, capital resources. You know, here in some of the cities that I'm working at, when I'm serving as an interim finance director, these are the most beautiful, hardworking people that I've ever worked with. Why do they come work here? Because there's something that attracts them here, and it's not just the job. It's the way we treat them, the way we appreciate them, and the way we care for them. And you finance directors and whatever other director positions you have, understand we are competing against other organizations. Life's a competition. Remember Billy Crystal in that movie City Slickers? Remember when he said his buddy Ed Ferrillo, he says life's a competition. Yes, and everything is a competition, and that's what makes life fun. Is that we're competing. That's what makes our job not just as a finance director. It's not just a job; it's an adventure because you get to create things. And as I said, if your organization is a dinosaur, where they say it's John, you know, I remember one city. I won't mention names, but I said we need to explore paradigm shifts on how we can do things better. And the city manager said to me, John, go practice your paradigm shift somewhere else. Actually, I don't think he said shift. He used a different word for it. But he said in our organizations, it's the way we've always done it here. That's a dinosaur. Those are dying. And those old guys and gals, they're retiring. I'm supposed to be retiring, but I'm not retiring. I'm not ready to retire. I'm enjoying, I love what I'm doing. More than ever, I have that opportunity to craft solutions for my city manager, my department directors, my city council, all the stakeholders. The point is, if your organization is a dinosaur, dump them. Move on. Give a good 2-week notice or even 4-week notice. Dump that organization. Go to one that's an innovator. Go to one where, like Alexis, if you're listening in, I am so excited about working with you. And Dennis, you are looking for best practices. You're making paradigm shifts in how we work as public administrators. You allow directors to explore opportunities within reason. Obviously, legal limits, then there are organizational limits and so forth. But you know, there are so many opportunities to enjoy our jobs as finance directors and department heads for organizations today. And as we prepare the budget, really get into it. Use that budget to make promises to your community and to your stakeholders. Make promises through the budget to your community that no other competitor would dare to make. Who's your competitor? Do you know your competitor? I know you now know your customer. You know your product, but do you know your competitor? Because you're competing. And if you're not, you better be aware of it. Remember the movie Rat Race with John Cleese? Remember that? When he gave there's 7 people golden key, he told them there's $1 million or something like that in Silver City, New Mexico, and they're in Las Vegas and at the Venetian Hotel or something like that, and all these people are saying, "No, this is a scam. They're having fun with us," right? But after a little while, everybody starts saying, "What if? What if they're telling a story?" All of a sudden, those 7 people that were saying, "Oh, it's just a scam," right? They're trying to be all proper. It's a competition. Life's a competition. And you know what? The universe, I'll use the word universe, that's more politically correct, rewards people of action. And in your budget, it must be a budget that is an action plan. Okay? Be people of action. The budget calendar for fiscal year 2024, you got 6 months to work on it. Get started right now. Think outside the box. Don't go with it. This is the way we've always done it before. Challenge yourself. Obligate yourself to success. I know it's a lot of work. And I know you're like, man, this guy isn't going to stop talking. I will. Give me a couple minutes here and I'll stop. Life is more fun when your job is an adventure. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, if the culture in an organization can be changed, be a part of changing it. It's for the good, man. It's not for bad. You know, the world, the universe, it's an accounting model. For those of you in accounting, the universe is an accounting model. You do good, good things come up. You do bad, bad things are going to come back to get you. Okay? My colleague, Monica, she says, "Oh, that's karma." I don't believe in that karma stuff, but whatever. The point is the world makes you pay back. You do a debit, you're going to get a credit. If you do a credit, you're going to get a debit or whatever. But if your organization is a dinosaur, dump them. Move on to an innovator. But assess yourself. Leave on good terms. Don't just be a part of the great quit. They're quitting for no good reason. So, are you ready for an adventure? Then prepare a budget document for fiscal year 2024 that's based on performance data, on programs. Maybe do a zero-based budget and really present information that informs the stakeholders, that markets the community, because we're competing for our community, right? There's a lot of communities out there that are really well managed and they compete like hell. Sorry for using that word, but plan for your organization. It's a going concern. Yes, your city organization serves your community, your local government, your special district. It is a going concern. If it wasn't, if you were not doing good accounting, then your audited financial statements would tell otherwise. Anyways, plan for making your community a going concern, not just fiscal sustainability, but to thrive and compete for resources to bring those to your little community. And kick ass on the competition. I say that with all respect. The budget is an opportunity. It's one plan to really kick butt on the competition. So, are you ready? Fiscal year 2024 budget is right around the corner. Call me or email me, John, John @munitemps.com, president of Munitemps, Municipal Staffing Solutions, and the City Speak blog and podcast. Thanks for being with me today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.